Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Insufficient Friends. I'm Kevin. She's Nikki.
Hi.
And Nick, we've got
Super special guest
another
today.
special guest joining us.
Sorry, another
this
insufficient
week.
friend.
Another insufficient friend joining us this week, and
My
that
Aunt
would be
Cindy.
Aunt Cindy. Hi, Aunt Cindy. How's it going?
Hello, guys. How y'all doing?
We're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
How was what was that?
Oh, I was going to say, I'm so excited to have Aunt Cindy
Yeah.
on. I've been wanting to have you on for a while, but we've had a lot going on in our family, so it's been a crazy time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, you know, we're doing it now though, so that's all the fun, all the rage. I don't know if that's how you use that, but we're gonna go with it anyway.
That's what all the youngins use, Kevin.
Is it?
No.
All the rage?
It's not.
I think that's even older than I am.
I think so, too.
Yeah. So, you know, anyway, how was your guys' weeks?
Mine wasn't too bad. And
That's
Cindy,
good.
did you have anything crazy happen this week?
Well, your uncle's out of town in Florida, and I discovered I really need adult supervision.
How so?
Well, there was a little incident with the air fryer when I thought it was a good idea to put the paper in while the preheat was on before I put the food in.
Uh-huh.
Don't
Yeah, it'll burn the paper. I've also learned that from experience, so I must get that
it
from
was
you.
quite a nice little fire.
Okay, so hold on.
Yeah.
What paper are we talking about? Because I don't use paper in my air fryer.
I don't know if Aunt Cindy uses the same one I do, but it's like it's like a little basket, so that way the oil and things don't get in. It's easier to clean afterwards.
Oh, see, I just wash it out with some Dawn dish soap and then just dump it, and that's
yeah.
it. Okay.
You could also do that.
I'm going for Dawn dish soap, but I actually was just using parchment paper.
Oh, were you?
Okay.
I have like
Yeah,
it's
just
parchment
a little bit.
paper based, but it's like actual like little basket type paper.
Okay.
That I got on Amazon. But I have also set fire to it.
Maybe we need to avoid that then. Maybe
Yeah.
Fire
Yeah.
seems to
Yeah.
be a bad thing. Fire is usually a bad thing.
Well, Kev, okay. There's something you got to understand about me and Aunt Cindy. The genetics run strong.
Yes, they do.
Extremely strong. Mostly in like the clumsy scenarios.
I get that. I understand that.
Definitely.
I feel that wholeheartedly because I'm definitely a klutz.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nikki came by it honestly. It skipped her dad, but came from me.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's fun. Yeah, I don't think anything.
Did you have a good week?
I mean, it was a normal week. It was a little
Yeah.
long.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little tired, but you know, that's normal for me on a Friday
Yes.
night anyway, but
Yeah.
so yeah, but it wasn't anything too crazy. But
Okay.
you know, I feel like there was something I wanted to say, but I can't remember it now. So I don't.
It's crickets.
Yeah, you know, I don't really know what's going on at the moment. I'm just kind of here. But I think shout outs are going to be the big.
Yeah.
We'll just go right into that. But
Aunt Cindy, do you have any shout outs?
Yes, I do have shout outs. I want to shout out the SPLA or St. Louis or SLPA. I always say that wrong. The St. Louis Performance Academy.
no, okay.
Our good friends, the Hermans, who Uncle Mike is out having fun with Ken, but Ken's daughters both competed in the national baton tournament and both won spots for the USA team. So
That's
they'll
Oh,
be-
wow. Do we have like congrats or any
Hold on.
fun noises?
Hold, please.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so
Kevin's going to try to find a congratulations sound.
You sprung this on me. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
yeah, Nikki, I'm pretty sure you've met Jordan and Taylor.
I think so, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So, they're going to be, I think the World Championships are in Italy next year. And I know
That's
definitely Jordan's going and Taylor also. So,
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Going to Italy
congrats
for
to
some
them.
baton twirling. That's pretty cool.
I know, that is cool. I mean, any excuse to go to Italy is
Well,
also
yeah.
cool.
I mean, it's Italy, so yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, that's just how that works.
Yeah, awesome. Any
yeah,
other shout outs?
just to the prospect softball team that Uncle Mike went to watch with Ken. They lost today, but they still did really well. And I think they were in a type of World Series championship, won 6, lost 7. So, but they did good.
Awesome.
Okay. What about you, Nick?
I don't have any shout outs this week.
Okay. So I've
Except,
got.
well, I guess I could say Uncle Mike
Okay.
because he's not here.
Hi, Uncle Mike.
But hi, Uncle Mike in Florida. We'll catch you next time. But yeah, go ahead.
So since we started, we've berated our 4 listeners for not commenting on our YouTube channel.
I know.
So we did it again last week. You did it, and we actually got 3 people to comment, but 4 total comments.
Okay.
One of them was from Manatee something. Sorry if I don't if I screw up your username.
Yeah.
But anyway, they said that they were talking about the haunted things that we seem to like, because this was on the Limp Mansion one that we did.
Okay.
And they told us to go to Excelsior Springs and tour the Hall of Waters.
Ooh.
It was apparently, it says it's a medical facility that was built in the 30s.
I've been wanting to go there. Aunt Cindy, have you been there?
I have been to the Elms Resort, which is by it. We used to go there for meetings. That's kind of like how your uncle and I met, going to meetings there.
Oh,
but
awesome.
yeah, it is a very cool hotel. Truman loved it, and then they have all the waters and all that stuff. It's cool.
That's cool.
That's
That's a good recommendation.
That's cool. Yeah, and
I'm going to add that to our list.
And that's, we're basically in the middle of the state, so anywhere in Missouri we can get to pretty easily. Then we've got 2 from Aubrey. Hi, Aubrey. She says in one of them that we're hilarious. She says you guys are hilarious.
Thanks, Aubrey.
And the other one, it says, LOL, I want to shout out, I listen to the podcast.
Thanks.
So here's your shout out,
God,
Aubrey.
we have 5 listeners.
And then Grace Ann says, hi.
Hi, Grace Ann. Hi, Aubrey. Thank you both for commenting.
Thanks for the comments. Just, let us know and we'll shout you out, because
that's
awesome. We like doing this, and we hope you guys like it too. So we have fun doing it. But anyway, we're talking about a couple of different things this week. What are we going to start with?
So in our family, on the Munn side of the family, we have a lot of value, I think, in getting the family together. We have a lot of family traditions.
Okay.
Not just within our small little family, but I feel like each of us within our extended family as well also has different traditions. So this was actually one of the things Aunt Cindy wanted to talk about was family traditions.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want to kick us off, Aunt Cindy?
Well, sure. We have lots of traditions in our family. I was actually kind of thinking of this. Nikki and I took a trip with my dad last weekend. So there was 3 generations of us in the car. And so we were kicking around the ideas of what family traditions and things like that we have. And the biggest one that my dad kept talking about was Christmas. I'd even ask him, hey, okay, besides Christmas, what? And then he'd go back to Christmas. So, but yes, Christmas is a big deal. One of the biggest things I know. He remembers his dad setting up a train track around their Christmas tree. And then I remember and even found pictures of the train tracks that my dad put up around our Christmas tree, and have a picture of Nikki's dad and myself laying on the floor playing with the trains. So, and that's how, we didn't really explain that. That's how I'm Nikki's aunt, is her dad is my brother.
Okay.
So, and then I know, like, when we go, Nikki had a little train around her tree when she grew up. So things like that just seem to get passed down. So.
Yeah, the Christmas ones were good. I'm not such a huge fan of December anymore in general, because we've had so many people pass away in the winter. It's hard.
That makes sense.
But I tried to tell myself this year I'm going to be better about that stuff. Because a lot of our family traditions revolve around Christmas, because that's when we all get together. My favorite currently is Aunt Cindy hosts a cookie weekend every year. And it was hard throughout college and things. It's hard to get back. But even if I could go for an hour, I would go, because that was one of my favorites. So what we do, or still is one of my favorites. So what we do is get that whole side of the family, mostly the kids, together, even the grown-up cousins, and make cookies and decorate cookies and do a cookie swap. So everyone can leave with like a cookie tin of all the different
Nice.
types of cookies. So
That's cool.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's like Aunt Cindy's pride and joy. And that's what I look forward to every Christmas is like the bright point of Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of a neat tradition that started because it started back right after Uncle Mike and I got married, and we weren't going to have Christmas or anything at our house because we don't have kids. So we had a overnight. The nieces and nephews, like when Nikki was like 5 and 6, and her brother was like 3, they would stay overnight, and so would my husband's niece and nephew.
Mm.
So we got them all together one weekend, and then my other nephew from across the state, my sister's oldest child, we had all 5 of them together and just had fun. And then it happened every year. We kept doing that. So now we're starting on our second generations of nieces and nephews that come.
All right.
So
Well, that's fun.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's very exciting. So now that we're moving back to Kansas City soon, too, I'm even more excited because now I can be there for more than an hour or two before I have to drive back to Columbia. Yeah, so that was always my favorite. And you'll have to send me the pictures of the trains and things, and I'll post them because that was also one that I thought of was the trains around the Christmas tree. And I know you
Yeah.
love trains.
I love trains.
Yeah.
I have lots
The
of
one
trains.
my dad did, I think, was just like a dinky little plastic
There's
one.
nothing wrong with that.
But from what I understand, the ones that Grandpa tried to do and Grandpa's dad did were like way more intricate and actually like nice trains, right?
right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it started. I mean, my dad had a pretty good, actually, he still had the trains from when he was growing up. And then they got more track and things like that. And then the way my dad told it, your grandpa said it was that he got tired of setting up the track. So they bought a big sheet of plywood and screwed the tracks to the plywood, made a big figure 8 out of it. I mean, this thing was like the big size of a ping pong table. They used to set it on the ping pong table in the basement to play with it. And they set up a whole village and all that kind of stuff. And then so they, instead of setting up the um, train set every year, they just have to bring this plywood board up with the tracks already on it. So,
So
yeah.
you guys, you mentioned like the village, like the Christmas village, like little porcelain houses and stuff, is what you're talking about. So my grandpa, this isn't a tradition, but it's just a sidetrack that goes along with that. He had an entire bedroom that was dedicated to that village.
I remember you telling me
Like
that.
it was.
That's crazy.
There was probably I would not be surprised if there was 300 little buildings in that little room with
wild.
like a full, like there was a train set that went through the whole thing. It was absolute. There was so much money in that dumb thing.
Yeah,
But
I
it
was
was
gonna
cool.
say that has to be expensive too.
But it was set up all year round eventually when he like, because it started when I was a little kid. It was on a table kind of like this, like it was on like the kitchen table, and then it slowly just kept getting bigger, and it eventually had to be its own room. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was ridiculous how much that was. But yeah, I always liked stuff like that. I don't. What do you guys consider to be like? What does it have to be to consider it a tradition? Because our family, we didn't. I don't know what you guys consider a tradition, but me and my dad don't really think of things that we do as traditions. Like my dad's like, I don't really care about traditions because it's like
Yeah.
don't like. I don't know, but
mean,
anyway.
I feel like for our family, it's any little thing that you can involve other family members in year to year.
Okay.
And pass something on.
Okay.
Whether that's for us, it just happens to revolve around Christmas a lot of the time. I have some things here that aren't Christmas related, but I feel like it's just anything that bonds your family that then the next generation carries on.
Okay.
I feel like you guys do like annual trips and things, or there's that day you drive around Springfield. Like I would consider that a tradition because you guys do that together. It's every year. That's something you bond over.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, nobody else gets involved, so it's just me and him. But I guess you
Yeah.
could consider it a tradition. I mean, it's
It's a tradition between the two of you.
yeah, I guess. But we don't get together like we don't all get together as family for Christmas anymore or anything like that. So it's
Yeah.
not, you know.
Yeah, it's not as much as a get together. I was
Yeah.
trying to think of non-Christmas related traditions too. And Cindy, I don't know if you know this. On my mom's side, so my grandpa Mac,
Mhm.
every April Fool's Day
Mm-hmm.
for the little kids, he would put marshmallows on a tree outside and say the marshmallows bloomed. And then that's something that on my mom's side of the family, so I don't remember mom and dad really doing that for us, but apparently like her cousins still do that with her family. And I was like, that's such a random one because it's not like Christmas or a holiday. It's just April Fool's Day
Yeah, but
every
that's
year.
fun. Like
Yeah.
the marshmallows bloomed.
Yeah. Do you have any others that aren't Christmas related?
Yeah, I was thinking about this today because I got a little geeky and looked up the definition of what a tradition is,
Oh,
and it's kind of any action or belief that's held from generation to generation.
All right.
So it doesn't have to be like something religious or sacred or anything around a holiday. It can also be, I was thinking, every generation in our family, I remember my dad talking about a pet or the dog he had when he was growing up. And then I remember our dog Boomer and our cat Kitty that we had. And then I know every single one of us, my brother, my sister, and I have pets.
mm-hmm.
And now you have Opie and
Yeah.
Sean has a dog. Sean, Nikki's cousin, my nephew has a dog. I think everybody in our family has pets.
Yeah, we are a very pet oriented family. And I
Yeah.
know your family's not, right?
No.
Or just you? Or is it your whole family?
No, my dad has my dad and stepmom have both have a dog. My mom has a
Mm.
dog. My grandparents, everybody has a dog. Everybody in my family has a dog except me.
Oh, it's just you.
Yeah, it's just me. I'm the outlier, and I get berated for that every once in a while.
Well, I would never berate you for that because at least you fully recognize you're not here a lot. You work
Oh
so
no, no, no!
much.
It'd be bad for the animal. I don't
Oh,
want an animal anyway. I'm not a huge pet person.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be fair to that animal anyway. Like
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
ever here,
Mhm.
so
But yeah, I like that. That's interesting way to look at it because I was trying to think of like events that we have together and which is a lot of holiday stuff. But yeah,
but yeah,
that's really
just
well,
interesting.
I thought of two others also in
Mhm.
our family. One is the love of travel,
Mhm.
road trips, especially because your grandma and grandpa used to take all of us from the St. Louis area and drive to Phoenix, Arizona. Like I can remember like 5 or 6 different trips to go out and visit my aunt and uncle there, and we would
Mhm.
do it in a road trip.
Yeah.
Uh, and then your mom and dad travel all over the country.
Mhm.
Aunt Lisa and Uncle Rodney have an RV and they travel all over. Uncle
Mhm.
Mike and I have gotten into cruising and road trips. We're going to Tahoe in September. I can't wait.
I
nice.
know, it's so exciting. I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited to see the pictures.
Yeah. And I know you used to do a lot of traveling with
Mhm.
your grandma Mac and Aunt Amy and your mom and all of that. So
Yep.
I think that travel bug is through the family too.
I would agree because it's so unique because I didn't realize how unique it was until I married into Casey's family and no
Hmm.
one goes any well, that's not true. His dad and mom they go to Florida a lot to visit their daughter, Casey's sister, but it's like no one travels and I'm like,
Hmm.
"What? I don't know what's happening. What
I
what
think
is
that's a
happening here cuz I want to be everywhere all the time."
yeah. I want to go all over the place, but
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty common thing because even my dad used to make comments that like when he was a kid, they didn't when my mom and dad went on our honeymoon, they went to Dallas because he's like, we didn't know anywhere else to go. He's like, it
Yeah.
was fun, we had a blast, but he's like, we didn't know anything else to go do because neither one of us had ever really traveled.
Yeah.
So, and I understand that, and
Yeah.
luckily I was able to like we went places all over the place when I was a
Yeah.
kid.
And
So,
I also get that it costs money and you have to have the
yeah,
ability to do things and
yeah, and not everybody's that
but it
not
just was
fortunate.
weird to me that not everyone has the itch to do that stuff. So I agree. I like that one. Was there another one that you had?
I was just thinking, I don't know if it's like I would call it a tradition or maybe a more of a value, but I
Mhm.
got to thinking about your grandma and grandpa, and after my dad and retired, you know how much they served at Agape, which was a local food bank. They'd like
Yep.
work there 3 times a week, and my mom was very big into recycling and saving the planet, and did some
Mhm.
activist work with Missourians Against Hazardous Waste and
Hmm.
things like
Mhm.
that. She was actually an environmental activist back in the 80s.
That's cool.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and then I got to looking at the careers that my brother, sister, and I chose. They're all helping careers.
Mhm.
So my brother's the police chief. I work in juvenile justice and foster care, and my sister does personal work with the mentally handicapped.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
does the care.
Yeah.
So, and then Nikki, I know you going on another generation. There's
Mhm.
a lot of organizations that you stand up for with pet adoption and
Mhm.
pride and things like that. And I know Nathan is really big into his conservative politics, which we won't get into, but
Yeah, he's separate
still
from the
has
others.
Okay.
activists. He
Yeah.
still has that drive to make things better, and I think that's
Mhm.
something that your grandma and grandpa handed down too.
100%. I agree. I think that is very much a product of how we were all raised. And
Right.
because obviously dad raised Nathan and I the same way you guys were raised in that sense. And then on my mom's side, my grandma Mac was the same way. She always liked helping people, and she donated too much to charities to the point where my mom had to take away her credit card when she got older and didn't remember who she was donating to. But
Okay.
I think that's very much a product of how you're raised. And it's not even, I noticed that it's not even, just the religious aspect of it too. It's just how we were raised.
Yeah.
Because Nathan and I aren't super religious,
Mm-hmm.
but we still volunteer, we still do
Yeah.
things.
Hmm.
So really it's like a personality trait in our family.
Mm-hmm.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I agree with that too.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's cool. Yeah, I like helping. I mean, I wish
Hmm.
I could do more,
Well, you also have to have
but
time,
you have to
and
have
you don't
time.
have time.
I when I was in high school, and yeah, when I was in high school, middle school and high school, I volunteered at a hospital, local hospital, and I did that for
Yeah.
years.
Hmm.
So I have volunteered a lot,
Hmm.
and I love trying to help different causes and things.
Yeah.
I wish I was able to do more, but sometimes
Oh,
you're
I think
just
we
not
all
there.
wish we could
So,
do
Yeah,
more.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Um, well, and then kind of speaking of family traditions, but going into our next topic. So, one tradition that I passed from myself to Aunt Cindy
Okay.
Yeah.
was kind of the supernatural world. So, I think that was going to be the next thing we talk about. So, it started with, I think we both had kind of an interest in like the
Yeah.
supernatural, paranormal, but the show Supernatural specifically, I loved, and then I got you hooked, and I don't think Uncle Mike is too happy that I got you hooked. But so
Well,
what was it about Supernatural, the show first, that originally like got you hooked?
I agree with you. We both have always had a love of the paranormal, and I mean, I grew up Catholic, and with that faith, there's always something bigger than yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And there's always mysticism involved when you talk about the mass and the rites of the mass. And I
Yeah.
can get all into that and all into the supernatural
Mm-hmm.
world. But at the time you introduced me to supernatural, I was kind of going through a lot of stuff, and I had a job that was really stressful, and then I had
Mm-hmm.
surgery and couldn't do anything for like 6 weeks. So I binge watched Supernatural, and I got hooked on it
Yeah.
because it was my stress relief. It was my, I didn't have to think about this job I loved, but was so stressful and taking me away from my family and everything
Mm-hmm.
else that was going on. I could just sit there and watch Sam and Dean, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a very good show. Did you get a chance to watch any clips
I
this week? Because you haven't
unfortunately
seen
did
it,
not.
right?
I had a
Yeah.
friend years ago who told me it was great.
Mm-hmm.
He really liked it. He told me it was a lot like the X Files, kind of the same vibe type
Yeah,
thing,
same vibe.
which I loved the X Files.
Mm-hmm.
But I never got around to watching
Yeah.
Supernatural. So.
So the whole premise is Sam and Dean are
Hmm.
brothers, and their mom was killed when they were younger by this supposed demon in the first episode, and their dad was like a paranormal hunter and
Okay.
wanted to like get revenge or
Hmm.
avenge his family
Yeah.
basically. And then kind of trained his sons to also be paranormal hunters. So that's kind of the premise of the whole show. It has a massive number of seasons.
Yeah, I
It's
know it's gone on. If it's
15
not still
seasons.
going, it went on for a long time.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
only got to season 12. I have not finished it yet because it
Okay.
takes a long time. But did you finish it fully, Aunt Cindy?
Oh yeah, many more than once.
Yeah. I figured. I did try 2 weeks ago. I restarted again, not restarted, started from where I left off. And I tried to catch up, but there's too many episodes. I couldn't do it in 2 weeks. Yeah. That's awesome.
Okay, yeah, I that's something I'll have to put on my list of things to watch
It's good. You would like it.
because it was a CW show, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It was. It
Yeah.
was actually Warner Brothers to begin with. It was a WB for the first season, and then when
Okay.
Warner Brothers bought out, or CW bought out Warner Brothers, it was one of the few shows that they kept.
Okay.
It's been going on 15 seasons, and was at the time the longest running science fiction genre show on television.
Nice.
Yeah, which is awesome. I love it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it goes along with our, like Aunt Cindy said earlier, we just love the paranormal in general.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it stemmed from the same thing you just said. When you're brought up in a religious atmosphere that has so many different rites and all these different aspects to it, it naturally kind of breeds that fascination, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Super. Not the show because I said I've never really seen the show, but the supernatural is interesting to me. Is like obviously we've gone to do several things that are not
Yeah.
ghost hunting things and supernatural stuff, but it's always been interesting because it's just it's just something unknown and it's
Yeah.
just
And we'll never know. I think
We'll never-
that's
yeah.
what is
It-
the
there's-
thing that gets me all the time.
yeah. There's really no way to know. Like
Yeah.
there's no way to know what happens
Yeah.
after someone passes. Like it's just not like there's no way to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Aunt Cindy, did you remind me when you were in school? I remember you mentioning you wrote a paper or something. Did you compare Catholicism and paganism, or remind me? We talked about this
Wicca.
one time. Wicca, yes.
For one of my senior papers, I compared the beliefs and rituals between Catholicism and Wicca,
Yeah, that's
which
super cool.
white witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
It was very interesting.
Yeah, and I remember you saying there was a lot of like similarities.
Well, there's a lot of similarities in the symbolism. Like Wiccans will use a chalice in their rituals. So, of course, we're Catholics, and I can't even remember all there. I just found a lot of similarities in some of the beliefs. You have the Wiccan Rede, which is do what you will, but do good, but harm no one. But then you have the greatest commandment in Christianity is to love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
So, and love God above all things and love your neighbor as yourself. So, I mean, there's just a lot of interesting comparisons. But even when I was younger, my brain would go and would want to know about anything that was bigger than myself or questions about it. And so, yeah, I was a religion major in school.
Yeah.
nice.
It's awesome. Is there
Sorry, cat has found something against the wall and is making the weirdest noise if you can hear it.
That's okay. Oh yeah, they have new kittens. Or how long have you had the kittens?
We've had them about 4 months now. We adopted them when they were a little over a year old.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
they're still getting to
cool.
know us.
Yeah.
Nice.
Love it.
But they're both here, sitting underneath my desk.
Yeah, they're always around. At least with Opie and Millie, they're always around. Even when I'm trying to do meetings and things. But such is life with pets.
Yeah.
Aunt Cindy, is there any like paranormal or supernatural place that you haven't been that you want to go?
A paranormal or supernatural place. I think there's all kinds of places in the world. I think one that I've really gotten interested in because Uncle Mike and I are watching the series The Skinwalker Ranch. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but there is so much freaky stuff going there. And they are doing a very technological approach to it. They've got drones going in the air, GPS monitoring, all kinds of stuff. And it is freaky what's going on.
Yeah. Have you heard of Skinwalker Ranch? Okay, is it's in Utah or
Yeah,
somewhere out
Utah or
west?
Nevada. It's like that Four Corners
Nevada, I think
area.
Nevada.
Okay.
Nevada sounds more right. Anyways, yeah, it's right around there. And it's this ranch where they have had over like the past 50 years. It's a crazy amount of time. Well,
Yeah.
in modern time at least. Reports of like alien sightings, UFOs, dead cows, dead animals, like just so I haven't watched the new docuseries. I think is it on Hulu or I saw it somewhere
We
the other day.
watch it through Philo.
Okay. Yeah, I saw it somewhere the other day. They have a newer series about it too, because there's
Okay.
always like little things
Yeah.
about it, because it's a very popular like supernatural
Yeah.
destination.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up too because that sounds
very
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a cool place to go. Well,
Yeah. So
scary. Yeah.
Some people
so
probably have a different
what about
definition on cool.
you,
Yeah. hmm
Nikki? What about you, Nikki? Where would you like to go that
So,
has a supernatural or mystical bent?
yeah. I don't think people are allowed here, but Poveglia Island off the coast of Italy, they occasionally will allow access to like TV shows and things and like professional people, but I don't think normal people are allowed to go. But this was an island that during the plague, well, the multiple plagues, because there were, 100 years apart, multiple plagues there. It was literally used as just like the whole island was just like a body dump and burial ground. And so you can still, the ground is like ash. It's not ground anymore. It's just ash from all the bodies. There's buildings there that are in disrepair now, but they used to send people with the plague there, and they were
Basically a place to die.
It was a death sentence. Yeah. So, and it was like a massive amount of people were sent there because a massive amount of people died during the plague. So I always just thought that would be like such a harrowing experience, I guess, to go there where all these people are sent there, and it's not a fun island.
Doesn't sound like it, no.
It's a death sentence. So that was always one that I've seen on different like docuseries and stuff. That's like really interesting.
So is there a reason they don't let people go there? Is it like a historic marker now?
Disrepair, the buildings there are, and they don't want people exploring around the building. And you can only get there by rowboat. So
Okay.
yeah, I think the Italian government has it marked as a something.
Yeah.
People aren't allowed to go there without access.
I don't. There's not any specific place I can think of, because I don't know a lot of them. That sounds interesting. The Skinwalker Ranch, that sounds interesting. Like anything like that, any of those places that are like overly, something like that, where it's more of a chance of you seeing something or or trying to figure out what's going on is going to be one that's going to be interesting to go see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Going back to the supernatural show before we do fun facts, because I forgot to talk about this. So Anthony told me something interesting the other day when we were on our way to visit Grandpa's sister, my great aunt. Jensen Ackles was supposed to be in Rust. Is it Rust that Alec Baldwin was in?
The movie Rust, yeah.
Yeah. Anthony, tell what you said the other day.
Yeah, okay. Jensen Ackles is the actor that plays Dean. And then one of the things after the show ended, he has always wanted to do was to be in a Western, to be in a movie. He's primarily a TV star. He hasn't been in a movie. Well, this was his first big movie role. He was in a movie called 10-Inch Hero, which is hilarious if you ever watch it. But Rust was his first big Western scene. And then the accidental shooting happened within a chapel on set, and he was actually slotted to be the one to walk in that gun was supposed to be pointed at.
Oh.
So when it would have been shot and gone off toward him if it hadn't been shot accidentally with the live round.
Yeah. Which is wild.
That is kind of wild. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he's not going to do a Western again.
No, I mean, yeah, that'd be a rough one. Trying to move forward
Yeah.
after something like that happened would be a difficult thing, I think, for anybody to do.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
agreed.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Kevin, I'll have to send you one of my favorite videos. I keep thinking of other things about Supernatural, the show. One of my favorite videos, and Aunt Cindy, you've probably seen this, is him doing a montage, not in the TV show. It's like out. It's on the blooper reel, but he does a whole like lip sync to a song. What is that song? I'm blanking now.
Eye of the Tiger.
Eye of the Tiger.
okay.
So he has this like classic
Hilarious.
car, his baby, throughout the show. Like no one can drive his baby. And then he does this whole scene of Eye of the Tiger, the whole song. He lip syncs to it, goes crazy on top of the car, like on the guitar. And it's so funny. It's like a blooper, like B-roll
Okay,
or
yeah.
whatever. I'll have to send it to you because that
Okay.
was one of my favorite, like, it's not technically a blooper scene, but I guess it kind of is.
Yeah, behind the scenes or something
Yeah,
like
behind
that.
the
Yeah.
scenes.
Yeah,
Okay.
they call it an outtake. What they started doing on that show, and I'm sorry, this is how geeky I became about what they started doing was they would just let the camera roll when Jensen and Jarrett were on set, or Misha, who plays Castiel, was on set, because they do. I mean, the outtakes are hilarious. They would just
Yeah.
joke and play around. Well, I guess Jarrett was supposed to come in, and he never came in on his cue. And they kept the camera rolling and kept the music playing, because that was actually part of the part where he's pumping his fist in the car is part of this show. But they never stopped the music, and Jarrett never came in, so Jensen just took it and went with it. It was kind of an ad lib that Jensen did.
Yeah. It was really funny.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
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 That kind of the behind the scenes stuff is always fun. I always like watching the behind the scenes things from movies and,
Yeah.
and TV shows and stuff,
I do
because it's
too.
just you see what they're like, what they really are acting like when they're not acting.
Yeah.
Which
you
is-
see them as humans,
Yeah.
which makes it fun.
Yeah, and I also think it's funny, especially in, like, I love it in comedies and stuff, when they are trying to make each other laugh, and like when you just see people just can't hold it together and just start like cracking
Yeah.
up laughing in the middle of things like
I
that.
feel like that's the best part of like SNL
Yeah.
and things like that, is when they break
Yeah.
character. They're not supposed to,
They're not
but when
supposed
they do,
to.
it's hilarious.
Yeah, I agree
The
with that. So.
funniest, I would say the funniest show to watch that on is watch the old Carol Burnett reruns when
Yeah.
they break, because they just, that's Tim Conway would always try to break them up
Yeah.
when they were doing that. It's hilarious.
I'll have to watch that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you want to talk about, Aunt Cindy, before you move on to fun facts?
What was there something else you said? What was the other thing
remember.
you said? I don't remember. Hold on. There was something about, like, place and time, right?
Oh,
Is that something we were going to
yeah.
talk about?
I forgot to think about that. So, Aunt Cindy, if you could be a witness to anything at any place in time, whether in the past or something that you expect to happen in the future, what would it be? As just a witness.
I really had to think about that when you said just, to witness it. And then we got talking about family ties, got me thinking. I think what I would like to do is witness our family tree going backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So be there when big things happen in the family. And then I'd love to be able to go all the way back and see who we were related to, like in the Middle Ages, or,
Yeah.
and then, because then you get to see what life is like and things like that. So I would like to trace, if I were going to be a witness, I would want to witness our family all the way back to the beginning.
I like
cool.
that. I agree with that, because I have tried so hard to trace like on Ancestry and things, but you can only go back so far because there's only so many written records that are reliable or that still exist and weren't burned in a fire or whatever. So I agree. I like that. I would like to do that too on both sides of the family. I think it'd be interesting to see, who we are today and both sides and what countries we came from, because our family is a mix of a lot of things, especially when you add in the different branches. And yeah, I like that. That'd be interesting. I would also do that.
Okay.
Just to kind of see where you came from.
Yeah, that's cool. So I kind of stole this from another podcast that I was listening to one time because I thought it was interesting. And one of the people on that podcast said two things that are really interesting, that are really morbid, but they're really interesting. One of them was to watch the Titanic sink. And one of them was to see the extinction, like the extinction of the dinosaurs, to see what an extinction level event looks like.
Yeah,
Because that would
that's a
be
good
interesting, because I don't think there's any way for anybody to really know what, like, one event that just wipes out everything, it would be
Yeah.
like.
When you say that, I immediately think of so many things that I want to witness just because the firsthand accounts are unreliable or there is no
Yeah.
firsthand account.
Well, and also there's so many things back in the day. Like you want to see actually how they built the pyramids because we don't know.
Yeah.
Like we have no idea how they
Like, you
did
can
some of this
guess.
stuff. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
guess and we can deduce from some of the things we find, but we don't really know.
Yeah.
And then I tried to think about things for the future too. And the only thing I could
That's
come
hard
up with
for me. I don't
'cause
think I
it's-
can think like that into the future. I
it's
think
really
I have a historical
difficult.
brain.
Yeah. The only thing I could come up with was like it's all based on what we do now. The only thing I could really come up with was like I want to see the time when like a human lands on Mars and how long that's actually going to take.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's going to be in the 2030s,
Yeah.
Elon Musk and everybody wants to say that it's going to be.
Yeah.
Like that's another 15 years. I know that's a long time when it comes to technology, but Mars is 6 month flight away at 17,000 miles an hour. Like it's
Yeah.
not a small feat to get people there.
Yeah. You need Star Wars level technology for
Yeah.
that. You need light speed.
Yeah, and that's like like at what point do we ever or will we ever develop things like that? And I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see how it either technologically advances or there's
just
this one
stops.
theory about how societies can only advance so far and then they collapse.
Well, I
forget
mean,
what it's called.
well, it's called the Great Filter. I
Okay,
believe is
yeah.
what you're talking about.
Probably.
There's a couple different theories on that with humans, whether or not we've actually hit it or not, or if we passed it, we were like the one species to pass it. But well, you even see that kind of like Roman civilization, and then you go down to the Dark Ages, and then you kind of go up again, and then you go, and it just kind of does that. It's like a big roller coaster that just keeps going.
Yeah.
So it is interesting to wonder if we would ever hit that point.
Surpass,
Yeah.
Where we are currently. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird to think about
Yeah.
because that could be in our lifetimes
It could. It could.
or it could not.
Or it could not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Although, if you think about it, when you say 15 years is very far away from landing on Mars, think about the people in the 60s who were planning to land on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And from the time that Sputnik launched, which I believe was in the late 50s, till they walked to the moon was only about less than 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's
it
wild.
can, with determination, it can happen, whether it will or not, I don't know, but it certainly can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's weird to think
Human
about.
ingenuity and like will to make things happen is insane.
Mm-hmm.
More insane than anything else. Because
Oh,
if we want to do something, we'll figure out a way to do it.
Yeah, it just goes back to I think all humans now some people are more curious than others and there's different levels, but all humans are innately curious and want to do other things and want to know why. We've said that a million times on this podcast.
Yeah.
Like we all want to
yeah.
know why
Yeah.
and how.
Yeah.
How can we
why
do
and
it?
how?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do we get there? Why is it this way? And how do we figure it out? And
Yeah.
how do we get there?
Weird.
Yeah.
That's a good one though. I like that answer. It's very interesting.
Yeah. So I think that's
That that sound played in the car when we were listening to it with Grandpa on the way down, and he was like, "What's that sound?" And Aunt Cindy was like, "It's the fact bomb."
oh man. Anyway.
All right, guest first.
Sure.
Oh, fact bomb. Oh, okay, my fun fact. You put me on the spot. Okay, fun fact, supernatural fun fact is that today is Jared Padalecki's birthday. He plays Sam, so happy birthday. if you want to tie it into our family traditions, if I had his phone number, we could call him up and sing happy birthday because my family does that for everybody.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fun.
Everyone gets a singing birthday, including
Yeah,
those that marry into the family.
yeah.
Okay.
It's not enough just to call up and say, "Hey, happy birthday."
Mhm.
We have to, for some reason, sing it because we're not there to do it to blow out your candles.
Yeah.
So we get on the phone and sing happy birthday.
Yep. Grandma and grandpa do that. Aunt Cindy and Uncle Mike, my mom and dad. And
Mhm.
Casey did not know that marrying into the family means he also gets singing telegrams. So he got voicemails and calls, and he's like, "What is happening?"
Okay.
But the funny thing, it's 2 days after my birthday, so he was like, "Why are they all doing this?" But it makes him feel good because his family's not as like that.
Yeah.
So it's funny. That's awesome.
And
Well,
then my other fun fact
mhm.
was the most common tradition, family tradition celebrated in America is Thanksgiving. I thought it'd be Christmas, but
Oh,
according to the
Interesting.
internet, it's Thanksgiving.
interesting. I do
Yeah.
remember that Thanksgiving was our time with Aunt Amy and Grandma a lot of the time. But that was
Yeah.
because in our family, on the Munn side, our side of the family, Christmas is our big thing. So I think it just worked out that Thanksgiving was the big one for them. But there are a lot of Longview Lake, out in like Lee Summit or whatever. They do like Thanksgiving fire. I don't know if they still do this. All growing up, they did Thanksgiving fireworks, and we would go and
But
see
Hmm.
Thanksgiving fireworks. I remember that was a massive thing that we all went to see.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that. Um, my fun fact is also about Supernatural, the show. So Dean and Sam are from Lawrence, Kansas, in the show because of its proximity to Stoll Cemetery, which is home to an urban legend. So the rumors about this cemetery, which is a real cemetery in Lawrence, they were popularized by a November 1974 issue of the University Daily Kansan. It's a student newspaper of the University of Kansas.
Okay.
And in this article, it claimed that the devil appeared in Stoll twice a year, once on Halloween and once on the spring equinox. So that was kind of the backstory of why, what is it? Kripke, the creator of the show, had their backstory be Lawrence, Kansas.
Okay. I think I've heard of Stoll before.
I hadn't, which was surprising because I feel like
I feel like I've heard of that cemetery before. Maybe that's where we should go. Lawrence, Kansas isn't that far away.
I already added it to our list.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Yeah. I Okay, so I have one that is you've mentioned it, so I'm gonna chop it up to that because I'm pulling a U and I'm way off topic.
Okay.
So one that I found was that I know that this was always a big thing, and it is a big thing back in the movies in the old days. But you mentioned Star Wars, I think, Star Wars technology. We need Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Well, one of the things that whenever you had the Darth Vader's voice, his breathing was a scuba regulator. That's how they made him sound like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
Interesting.
They had a lot of weird, like
heard
weird
that.
tube TVs. They used
Yeah.
so many different random things to make sound effects back in the
Well,
day.
they had to.
Yeah, because you didn't have.
You don't have like soundboards and things like you do nowadays.
And
so
also it was a
easily
sci-fi thing, so you've got to come up with weird things for people. Because if I remember correctly, the lightsaber is I don't remember what it was turning on. There was something specific that it was when it turns on, and then it's like partly the humming of tube TVs, and then like some other. There's like 7 different sounds mixed in to make the sound of a lightsaber.
Interesting.
And it's just
it's such an iconic sound now.
it is an iconic sound. I don't know that there's anything like there's nothing like it. So it's just if you hear that hum, you know what it is.
Yeah.
If you hear those noises, you know what they are.
I'm excited to have Uncle Mike on eventually because he likes Star Trek. And
I
that
know-
has always been a big thing.
Yeah.
And he gives us crap. And I think at one episode, I said something about like truckies or I don't remember what I said. But immediately when I showed up to their house for the next, family thing, he was like, "What did you say about Star Trek?" So I knew it was going to be good to have him on so we can have a debate.
Okay. Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
As much as I'm into Supernatural, Mike is into Star Trek and is as geeky about Star Trek as I am about Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Kevin, Supernatural, the brothers Sam and Dean, Eric Kripke actually based them on Luke Skywalker in Han Solo.
Oh, that's cool.
And in the first writing, or he was originally going to, instead of it being the Winchester brothers, they were going to be the Harrison brothers after the actor's name that plays.
Oh, Harrison
Solo.
Ford. Yeah. Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember that. I remember reading
That's cool.
that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was already a real life guy in Lawrence, Kansas with that same name or something.
So they named him Winchesters after the Winchester House, which would be another cool place
That
to
would
go
be
see.
cool. That would
I
be
agree.
A cool place to go see.
That's on our travel bucket list, Casey and mine.
Yeah.
That would be
the Winchester Mansion would be a really cool place to go see.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of the same weird paranormal type place.
Yeah.
And
It's one of those that you look at and you're like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. But I think is that it for this week?
That's it.
I think that's it for this week. Anyway, Aunt Cindy, thank you very much for coming on. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
We hope you had fun as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.